like mid to high 70s. You know, sometimes it just tips over 80.
Okay.
Man, I've got class averages running 87, 88, 89%. And then you have the audacity to come back and ask me, sir, will you curve? And then I say, well, how much time do you have? Like, what do you mean, sir? Like, you want me to answer that question? I can give you the short answer. Or I can give you the long answer. Like, what's the short answer? I'm like, short answer is no. But why, sir? I'm like, that will require me to give you the long answer. Okay, sir, the long answer.
Oh, man.
Do you know how a normal distribution works? Because that is what they talk about when they talk about a curve.
Yeah.
So again, how much time do you have? Because I would be happy to explain to you how normal distribution works. Then I will tell you 3 different techniques of adjusting a class grades against a curve.
At least it's a little bit entertaining. At least it's a little bit entertaining.
Yes. So they're like, what? I'm like, yes. What you're asking for is not called a curve. What you're asking for is charity points. Can you give everybody 5 extra points? Hell no. Go away. It's been the weirdest end of semester ever. 3 students Fs because they're such geniuses, mashallah. I don't know where to begin to tell you.
Are these the ones that like copied verbatim from the test bank?
Dude, verbatim. Bro. Word for word. And then I scheduled a meeting. One student, I'm like, listen, you copied verbatim from the test bank. No, sir, I studied very well. You studied well enough to memorize word for word answers to at least 5 essay questions per chapter for 5 chapters. That's 25 essay questions you memorized verbatim. Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't believe
man shouldn't be in AUS. Competing in like
pie
memorization contests and shit like that.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, I'll tell you what. There's 2 options in front of you. I will take this and report it to the dean's office, and you deal with them because I don't believe you can. Or because I just don't want to deal with drama this semester. I just want this to close. I will give you an oral assessment, which is mentioned in my syllabus, that I reserve the right to reevaluate any of your assessments with an oral exam if I so feel the need. But I'm not ready, sir. What do you mean you're not ready? You memorized 25 questions for an exam that was less than 2 days ago, and now you just deleted it from your head?
The nerve.
Oh,
Bro,
my God.
I'm telling you, it's been the politest words I can think of is it's been a special semester.
I cannot wait to like get into teaching myself because eventually I want to teach after working for some time. It's going to be so entertaining.
And I'm going to do something in the course of the next 2 days that I've never done.
What?
So for this summer, I'm teaching a Management 316, which is my career management course, generally very popular. I've got 20 plus students in it already. In order for a summer course to carry, you got to have 12 students at least. I got a call from the marketing department a month or so ago saying, hey, do you want to teach your supply chain course in the summer? Because, we don't have anybody to teach it in the summer. I'm like, no, man, I hate that course. I don't want to teach it. And they're like, oh, okay, do you want to teach MIS 201? I'm like, that could be interesting. I haven't taught MIS 201. That could be fun. Yeah, sure, why not? News spread like wildfire. 2 students who were taking it in the spring dropped it with the faculty that they were taking it, registered for the summer.
Hell yeah.
Class cap was supposed to be 20, got pushed to 25.
Hell yeah.
Full. Then there were emails going back and forth. The head of department from MIS, who would send it to the head of department for management, who was my head of department, that, hey, can you ask Ali if we can expand the class a little? I'm like, okay, no, 25 is enough, man. And then they're like, no, we don't have a choice. We need to expand the class. I'm like, oh, fuck my life, fine. Then they expanded it to 30. And then I checked my roster this morning. I have 33 registered. So I'm gonna send an email in the next couple to say, guys, thank you very much all for registering. I have never sent an email to a class of students before the semester starts. Ever. But I'm gonna do so this time because I need you to understand something. Unlike most summers, this summer is very different. This summer is 4 weeks. We have 5 days classes, 6-day classes, 5-day classes, 6-day classes,
Is that so?
2 days. Yes. 2
I didn't
days,
know.
finals.
Shit.
2 days and finals. Which means that for my MIS class in the summer, you will have either a quiz or an assessment or an exam or a case every other day at the minimum.
Shit.
Nice.
And I have 15 chapters to finish. 15.
So how many dropped?
Oh, I haven't sent that email yet. I'm going to send it in the next 2 days. I'll update you guys on the number of drops after.
That's freaking filtration. That's pure genius.
Man, I used to, well, not this, but I used to do something along the line of this when I was a student. So when I was at AUS, we didn't have online registration. You had to go to your faculty advisor. The faculty advisor would log into Banner, their version of Banner, and they would add you to the course. So if the course is full, they'd be like, hey, man, this course is full. I'm like, no problem. I'll come back and check in later. So I would try the before classes start, I'd try to get all the classes that I wanted. And then there'd always be like 1, 2, or 3 classes that I couldn't get.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would go to the class that I wanted to get into day one. And I would sit at I get there like a few minutes early, sit in the back, just lean my head against the back, like chill and relax. And, the class would start filling in, students were starting to roll in. It is a generalization, but it's mostly true. The lazier kids tend to sit towards the back. The nerdy kids sit towards the front.
Yeah.
And then everybody else kind of fills whatever seats are left over.
Yeah.
So the back of the class fills in, and I'm just sitting there like, daydreaming. And then the professor walks in, and I don't know anybody in the back row yet. And I'm like, I just lean over to whoever the guy, girl on my left. I'm like, oh shit, not this guy. Oh my God, I thought he was teaching the other section. Oh man, he failed me so bad last semester. And then like 5-10 minutes later, I lean over there. I'm like, dude, have you ever taken a course with this guy? Like, no, man, what? I'm like, man, I took it with him last semester. He failed me so bad. I thought the other professor was registered for this section. Shit, bro, this is so bad, man. It's so bad. And then 10-15 minutes later, I lean over to the left. I'll complain a little bit. And then I'll complain a little bit more to the right. And then these 2 guys will have 2 other guys next to them. They're like, what's going on? They'll be like, shh, this professor, did you hear about this professor? This guy failed with him last semester. Oh my God. And then in that conversation, maybe a couple of kids in the row had me listen to it too. And then class would finish. I'd get up, I'd walk, I'd go to my faculty advisor. And this would happen every time. I'd go to my faculty advisor, and then he's a very nice gentleman. His name was Ralph Palliam, South African guy. And he's very formal. Like, Ali, the section's already full. I've checked for you this morning. I'm like, Dr. Ralph, just not yet. Just give me a second. And then I'd wait, and in my head, I'm just plotting out, okay, the kid walked out of class. Now he's going to talk to a couple of his friends. Now he's grumbling about the course. Now they're sharing the sad story of this kid who was about to cry and piss his pants because he failed his course. Now they're discussing a freak out. Now they're like, holy shit, I really need to change section to this other professor that supposedly is really good. Oh my God. Now he's walking to his faculty advisor's office. Now maybe he's waiting in line. Now he went in. Now he's telling the story to the faculty advisor that, I need to change my section. The faculty advisor says, no need to change the section. He says, no, you must change my section. Then he logs in. Then he changes the section. I'm like, okay, that should be enough time. I walk in. I'm like, professor, could you check? He goes, there are 3 spots available. I'm like, yes, I know. Please add me. All I'm going to say is every single semester at AUS, I got every single course with the time, with the professor I wanted.
All I'm going to say is I'm glad I hit record.
You gotta learn to beat the system. Oh, I've told my class this. I'm like, guys, you guys are not proactive. You're reactive. You just keep whining and bitching about which class you didn't get. That's true. What did you do about it? Like, did you try to do something about it? No, I just complained. Okay. Okay. Not very smart, bro. Not very smart at all. Yeah. I'm telling.
This is gonna be our first blooper reel. Like just.
I think
the same.
All right, good. We ready, boys?
I'm ready. What software do we use to record that? Wow, I forgot everything.
Audacity.
Audacity, yes. Oh, that was refreshing.
Yeah,
I love it. Also, I didn't expect ISO whey to taste this good. I thought it would taste like crap.
Sorry?
What?
I thought that ISO like whey protein tastes like crap. It doesn't.
Oh,
Why are you drinking like the stuff, man?
he's working out. He's working
Yeah.
out. Let him have his moment.
Yeah.
Okay, man.
I shouldn't. Ideally, I shouldn't be drinking like protein at the beginning.
Man,
of
for
my
me,
cutting
when
phase, so-
when I was in college and I needed to, you know, increase the protein, I would just be busy, eating steaks.
Oh,
Why am I gonna like waste an opportunity to have an
Perfect.
excellent steak by mixing like a milkshake that tastes like blah? What's that thing that you give the kids Cerelac? Tastes like Cerelac.
Oh my
Why,
God.
bro?
Oh God.
The thing is, I know some people who love Cerelac. Freaks of nature, I swear to God. Like, I
Oh,
legit know
man,
AUSers who love Cerelac.
To each his own, but brother, opportunity cost. My trainer's like, bro, my trainer's like, Ali, you need to buck up. You need to get more. I'm like, dude, I'm already big. No, bigger. I'm like, okay. What do you want me to do? Like, shit, I eat a ton of food, man. I have 2 double Whopper upsize meals, 2 meals. I can't eat no more. He's like,
I'm
no.
happy.
Don't
I'm
eat this
happy.
junk.
Wheel.
I'm
Get rid of these.
I'm happy.
These potatoes are trash. Don't eat potatoes. Protein. I'm like, you know what? I got you. He's like, I'll get you this powder. I'm like, no. I don't do this no powder shit, bro. I got solutions. Told my friends we're going shopping. They're like, why? I'm like, man, I can't afford to eat steak outside. I'm in college. So what we're gonna do? We're going to butcher. I went to the butcher. He's like, what do you want? I'm like, see this cow? I want you to cut this piece out, this piece out,
I'm
and then
set.
there's this piece.
I'm set
Good
right
stuff,
here.
man. Good stuff.
This is. I'm set right here. I'm
Steak
okay with
bulk.
this stuff.
So I would get the butcher to give me like steak, like big chunk of meat. I would come back. I would slice it up into little steaks, hand sear those suckers.
Oh man.
Maybe broil them in the oven.
It's no wonder you're so good at making madfoon, like madfoon every Friday. So many years of experience.
Oh yes. I've been doing that stuff since high school.
Bro,
Since high school, I've been-
imagine Professor Ali meets Hasnain Bhai. They become best
Oh
friends.
God. Oh God.
Talk about barbecue all the
time.
I can,
Talk about
I can-
barbecue
I
and
can-
beard care.
Last season, all the guys got fed up with me. They're like, Ali, why do you keep you're eating food and you're complaining? The madfoon drum that we got, I bought it from Dade, and it's only about yay deep, like
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know, yay deep and about yay wide. And you only got 1 layer in it. And I'm like, this is a shit drum. They're like, dude, this food is so good. I'm like, no, the drum is shit. They're like, what do you want? I'm like, I need a crude oil barrel drum. And in this drum, there will be 3 layers. Top layer meat, next layer meat, then a gap, and then we're going to put the pot of rice inside the drum. Right now, we cook in pot of rice like 4 people on a stove.
Yeah.
So the whole thing's got to go. So my mission last season was to find a crude oil barrel of drum. I called everybody I know. I said, bro, I'm ready to pay 500 dirhams. I'm desperate now. We can't find it.
Or
we
a
can't find it.
empty drum as well.
One fine day, because I'm like 99.9% sure Siri listens to me all the time.
Yeah.
One fine day on my social feed, drums for sale, refurbished. I'm like, what? Drums for refurbished drums for sale. What the fuck is going on here? I'm like, hand to God. I'm like, brilliant. Siri, I love you, Siri. I called. I'm like, hello. They're like, alaikum sir. I'm like, hey bro, what's up? Man? Yeah, you have drums? Yes, sir. Like, what size? Sir, 50 gallons. I'm like, metal or plastic? Metal. New or refurbished? Sir, new refurbished, fresh paint, clean up. I'm like, do you have with the flat lid that seals, or do you have with the lid with the clamp? He goes, sir, I have both. And in my mind, I'm like, oh,
Heaven, subhanallah.
I'm like, okay, bro. I need some. Do you have stock? Sir, how many do you need? I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, man, I might never find this guy again. I better stock up on crude oil barrels. Like, I'm thinking like 10-year plan. Like,
Wow.
do you have 6? Can you get me 6? Sir, 600 I don't have. I'm like, no, bro, 6. Oh, 6. Sir, anytime come by, sir. 6 is ready. I'm like,
My man deals in
how
bulk.
many? How many do you have, sir? Right now, not much. 300, 350 pieces. I'm like, oh my lord, where's all my food, brethren? I am gonna start like a like an online store and sell drums. I'm like, man, where are you? He's like, sir, I'm like, no, just send me your WhatsApp link. I'm gonna fly over and come and get them. This unfortunately was end of the season, right? When I'm having the discussion, it's already too hot.
Yeah.
And then the guy sends me a link. He's somewhere in Ajman Industrial, whatever. I said, send me some pictures. He sent me some pictures. We are good to go. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't ask him how much. I'm like, bhai, now by this time we're talking in Urdu, right? I'm like, bhai, kitne. And then he said, my Urdu is terrible. Like, I mean, I can speak it, but like my counting is bad.
Right.
He said something. I'm like, bhai, kitna English mein kitna hai? 47, sir. I'm like, 47 as in 4 and 7. 47 dirhams? That's it? He's like, yes, sir. Sir, bring cash, no need VAT. Bro, it's 47 dirhams, man. You take 20% VAT on that, man. More than happy. So the drum supplier for next season is set.
Nice,
the guy's like, he's like, sir, we'll even deliver. You know, I'm like, no, bro, I got a truck myself. I will come pick it up.
Oh, yeah,
so come next season, I have a GMC Sierra 3500 crew cab long box.
Nice.
Whoa.
It's the biggest one I could find.
Whoa.
It carries all my junk.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, so we already wasted half an hour talking about nothing.
Oh, this is great. This is gonna get publicized.
This is gonna be this is gonna be promotional material. This is gonna be promotional material.
This is gonna get the people.
One of the guys is like, Ali, you haven't done your podcast in a year. I'm like, yeah, I'm not in the mood. He goes, you know what? We should just record the podcast when we sit in the desert. We talk about a lot of stuff. I'm like, man, the stuff we talk about cannot be made public. We're gonna get in trouble.
Oh, imagine our mic set up with like our beach chairs and lawn chairs and just
so
sitting
cool,
in the
innit?
Oh no,
desert.
we're ready. We have full gear.
Just get those shirt mics, man.
Oh yeah, we can do
Dude,
that.
we have
could
full
just do that.
gear.
Oh, yeah,
We have power generators. We watch movies in the desert.
Oh yeah, that's the
You should this season. You guys have to come. And actually, you know what? We can record a
Dude,
Oh.
majlis.
I'm down.
episode.
I'm so
down.
fun.
We missed
so down.
every year. We do a trip to Kua, the Kua Desert. It's so if you drive from Abu Dhabi to Alain, you stop about halfway,
Okay.
and then you turn towards the Saudi border,
Mhm.
and then you drive
okay.
for like an hour
Whoa.
towards that direction. It's the if you look at a light pollution map of the UAE, it's the darkest place in the UAE.
Oh wow.
So you can see if it's a clear night, no fog, and of course
you can see stars. Is
we
that what
time
you're
it so
saying?
there's no
I'm
moon.
down. I'm sold.
Oh man, I'm
can,
so down.
bro. You can see the Milky Way.
Whoa.
Bro.
Yes, and one of the guys has massive telescope. We take our photography gear. I
Oh my
actually
God.
have. One sec, I'll get it. I have a picture of a nebula that we shot from there.
यार बहुत मजा आ रहा है.
Bro, we're getting content. Screw crypto. ये content hai. This is the episode. This is how we're gonna start it. We're not gonna even intro the music. We're not gonna do intro music. Nothing. We're just gonna start with them ranting. That's
Exactly.
it.
कैसे हो भाई बहनों? Wow. Oh my God, that's
God.
acrylic.
Oh my God.
Yo.
It's on a metal print. You can't really see it that way.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's reflective. I can tell.
Yeah, we can see your beautiful faces.
Wow.
So Milky Way shots is man, we good. So we missed this season because of the Abu Dhabi border issues.
Oh, okay.
And they're like,
Right.
you guys can't come for leisure trips. So we didn't do Kua. So next season, Kua is like top of the list.
When does the season start?
28 degrees, ladies and gentlemen. The magic number is 28 degrees. Everybody asks me that question. They're like, the answer is 28 degrees. As soon as the temperature hits 28 degrees or lower in the evenings, season is officially open.
October, November. That's when we're looking at.
Sometimes we get lucky. September evenings. And keep in mind, the desert is cooler than the city.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, let's do it. Everyone, get onto Spotify, Audacity.
Audacity.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on.
Yeti. Okay.
Ready.
Mic is set.
Ready.
Okay.
All
good.
set.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna count everyone down. When I say click, that's when you start recording. 3, 2, 1, click. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Kaise ho bhai behno? This is the Ali N podcast, and today I am joined by my wonderful co-host Ali Hamid Zaidi and our wonderful guest, a professor from my university, the American University of Sharjah, who just went on for 20 minutes about everything. Professor Ali Khawaja, introduce yourself, sir. Happy to have you.
Hey guys, the pre-show discussion was not kosher. Don't listen to that.
Oh,
Wonderful.
So a little bit about myself. I'm actually because I know that a lot of your listeners are AUS students. For those who don't know, I'm actually an AUS graduate. I'm class of 2002. So when I graduated, I was planning to go into corporate and do all sorts of cool stuff. And then my dean is like, "Hey man, you want to work for us?" I was like, "Okay, man." And that was literally my job. I kid you not, hand to God, that was literally my job interview.
Wow.
And the funny part was, like, I had been planning for months. Oh, I'm gonna print my resume on this paper. I'm gonna distribute my resume here. I'm gonna do this. I had 18. I still have them, by the way. I have them on my backup drives. I had 18 drafts on my resume. Like 18
Whoa.
drafts until I got to that final version that I wanted to use. I never got to use it.
no, I thought like 3 was a lot. Okay.
No. 18 iterations and corrections till I got to the one I'm like, okay, this is the perfect one.
Yeah.
And I never got to use it.
You and me are gonna talk after this. I need those. I'm applying for jobs at the moment. I need those.
No worry. No. Well, the twist of fate. Now I teach a course in Management 316, which is career management.
Nice.
So now I critique and edit and give feedback to students and receive. So been at AUS ever since. Been faculty in School of Business. The beautiful part about being faculty, you have time.
Yeah.
You have time to do stuff. I mean, if you look at a lot of you guys, just need to look at your older siblings or parents who are working. They're doing the 9 to 5. They barely get home, exhausted, burned out. Then they have a weekend to just do every other chore, laundry, cook, clean, whatever it is, and then back to work. Me, on the other hand, I have the same schedule you guys have, except I don't have to study for exams, and they pay me to show up.
Nice.
So it's kind of like, I like this. The funny story, my dad, for like the first 5-6 years approximately of me working at the university, every time he'd come and visit, because he was still working corporate, he was CEO of a GM dealership.
Nice.
Every time he'd come and visit, he was like, young man, I'm like, yeah, Baba. When are you planning to get a real job? And I tell him, like, Baba, all I care about is the real paycheck that I get. No, but the nice thing is he gives you time. So I got to explore. I did advisory. I did consulting. I did a lot of stuff.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Last
dream.
4 or 5 last 4 or 5 years, I've gotten into crypto. I've been into startup advisory, investment for a very long time. I mean, it's just fun, honestly. It's just fun. When my kids were small, I stopped doing most of this extra stuff because I'm like, what's the point of having this type of job where I have the luxury of time and I don't get to spend it with my kids growing up?
Correct. Yeah.
Exactly. And that 0 to 2 years, I think, is the best age. And then the 2 to 5 is the second best age. And then it's all downhill, man. They're like, oh, Baba, I got friends. I need to go hang out with friends. And then it goes from hanging out with friends, Baba, I need more money to buy more stuff. Like, why do shoes? What the hell? Why do shoes cost 1,000 dirhams, man? Like, I thought we're supposed to be saving the planet. You're killing me here. But I've been tinkering a lot of stuff. I got into crypto, and I think a lot of people would give a year, but nobody really remembers crypto in that sense. They all remember crypto as in what was a Bitcoin price. So I got into crypto when Bitcoin had just gotten into the $3,500 range.
Oh my God.
That's
wow.
That's actually when I first actually made a purchase also, and I dipped my toes, so to speak, in the crypto space.
So you were sitting at like what, 20 times profit? Oh, okay, we'll get into that. I'm interested to know what you did with your Bitcoin now.
Yeah. The disclaimer: if you are wondering why we're not surprised about any of the facts he's about to spit, it's because this was one of the deleted audios that we had to encounter.
We told everyone we're shutting down, and then at the beginning of episode 8 with Pooja Auntie, we did like a Rickroll. It was fun.
That was Shivani.
It was Shivani. Yeah, it was.
Oh man,
nice.
Do you know that reminds me of something actually? When you're talking about how you get paid to show up and you don't got to give exams and you work at AUS. So Ali and I used to be students at this like Islamic school on Fridays. It It's called Madrasa
Yeah.
Al Mustafa, and I remember every time in lunchtime because I was massive back then. I was like very very chubby. So I always look at the teachers with envy because like they used to give us like chips and juice and stuff at lunchtime. It
Yep.
was all free, by the way. You didn't even have to pay
Yeah.
fees to attend. But the teachers got to eat like keema paratha, nihari, all of that stuff. So I was like, one day I'm gonna eat their food. And then fast forward like I don't know 7 years, we actually
Oh my
became
God.
members of staff there and started teaching. I was like, yes, suck it.
Oh my God. It was so great.
No, I remember. It's amazing how small things stay with you. I remember as a kid, you're a kid, you walk past the toy store, you see stuff,
Yeah.
and you want the most awesome, like the largest remote control car, whatever they got, right?
Yeah.
And you tell your dad, and your dad's like, "You crazy boy? Hell no!"
Yeah.
And and then that's kind of like when you have that conversation, that deep conversation, like the philosophical level conversation of a 5-year-old with himself. That when I grow up, I'm gonna buy all the toys I want.
Oh man.
And I don't know, subconsciously, it might have stuck with me, man. I waste so much money on toys, it's embarrassing. I have Lego that's been sitting in boxes for years. And not because I'm a collector, because I just don't even have the time to assemble them.
Wow.
Not to mention, I ran out of surface space. There was no table surface in the lounge that didn't have Lego on it
Wow.
up till like 2 summers ago. And then I was like, oh, you know what? I gotta clean up my act before I get thrown out of my house. So I actually bought these huge display cabinets. I have these huge display cabinets full of Lego, and they're already full. And I've got more Lego sitting in the storeroom, and I've got 3 Lego that I still need, that are like need to buy right now, like urgent. And then I had to get an app. This is embarrassing. I had to get an app to manage my Lego inventory.
Didn't you buy
Yeah.
more Lego recently? Didn't you? I think you bought. What did you buy? A Millennium Falcon or what? You
No, Millennium. The large Millennium Falcon was a couple of years ago,
Okay.
2 summers ago. Actually, I made it 2 summers ago in the business building. I sat in my office and I made it. Me and Allah made it together. He made his, I made mine. No, I recently bought the gauntlet.
Oh,
Marvel
the
Gauntlet.
Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah. I saw that. I saw that on
Yep,
your story.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's already
Oh,
assembled,
huge
already in
Lego
its
fanboy,
display
man.
case.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's already assembled, already in the case. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
I need it. I
I
want to
still
get.
need
I want to get Legos so bad, but then I look at the price tag and I go, okay, I need to save up.
Is there like a set that you got your eyes set on, Professor Ali and Ali? Like, is there a particular set with like hella pieces that costs an arm and a leg that you really want to get?
Well, like I mentioned, the app has a section for the sets that you own, and then you can
Okay.
even create a wish list. I'm
Uh-huh.
showing the guys
Oh.
on the webcam a
Wow.
wish list of the sets that you want to get. There is one set I didn't get. I was very close to buying it. It's out of production for many years.
Oh.
It's 1.2 meter long Star Wars. I think it's called
Oh.
Interceptor, Defender, whatever ship.
Right.
And it's huge. And I saw it, of all places, I saw it in Legoland, Malaysia. And I looked at it, I was like, I want to buy this. They're like, sir, this is not this is out of production for many years. We only have the one display piece. I'm like, no, I must buy it. I'm like, we can't sell it. We can't sell it to you. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I must have this. So of course, I even got to the manager. The manager's like, we apologize. We cannot sell this. I'm like, dude, I will literally just pick this up. I'm gonna run. the guy, I couldn't buy it. Then later on, there is actually a bunch of forums for adult fans of Lego and
Yeah.
whatever. I went on a couple of the forums and I said, listen, guys, I'm looking for this piece.
Yeah.
I don't know how to buy a piece that's been discontinued. And they're like, bro, there's like a huge aftermarket for this stuff.
Oh.
And then I found a guy who was selling it original mint in box in the UK.
Oh wow.
The problem is this thing was huge, so the shipment was going to cost a fortune. I should have just shipped it to a friend's house in the UK. I double guessed myself and I lost that opportunity. Having said that, what's interesting is I don't know if you guys are familiar with StockX. StockX has started listing Lego, by the way.
Oh.
So not just shoes. So StockX is they list shoes, clothes, watches. So if you're looking for that new Air Force One, Air Jordan, whatever, hoopla,
Yeah.
a bunch of kids,
Yep.
a bunch of kids will get in line at 2 a.m. They'll buy the shoe, And then StockX is like a secondhand, not a secondhand. It's like a reseller platform.
Scalper.
So
Central,
these guys will list
basically.
it there. Exactly. So and it's fantastic. These guys do a fantastic job.
They probably have hella
and now-
PS5s as well.
Everything. You name it, they got it. And then the nice thing is if you buy something through them, the seller has to send it to them. The seller doesn't send it to you.
Oh.
The seller sends it to them. They have a whole department that will check to make sure it's real.
Oh wow.
They'll authenticate it. After they have authenticated it, they will send it to you. So I've ordered like a couple of shoes from them just to like try out the service. It's legit. It's fantastic. But they listed Lego, man. And not to mention, just to kind of save your money type of strategy when you're having the discussion with your parents or whoever else is gonna say no, get in the way of joy. ROI, return on a Lego investment, has been higher than any stock portfolio or gold going back 20 years. You can Google and check it.
That's why he collect Legos. Okay.
Okay. I would love to use that excuse, but I take them out of the box
Fair
and
enough.
I play with them. You're supposed to leave them in the box.
True.
So yeah, not really there. So yeah, it was like what 4 or 5ish years ago, something like that. Crypto was at 3,500, and I was like, oh, new toys. Let's get into this space. But it's been an interesting journey, man.
Okay.
Oh man.
I love how they talk with Star Wars, because I literally came in and like I didn't want to waste too much time in the shower, so I legit like took the quickest shower of my life, and I just slammed on like the Star Wars sweatshirt that my sister got me. Speaking of Star Wars, like May the 4th was when what's his face was born, right? The Elon Musk kid with the weird name. I really want to understand. Maybe we can get into this at some point.
Hold on.
The XEA12 guy. How does one person have such tremendous influence on the crypto market that one tweet can send prices flying and then another tweet can send them plummeting? I guess we could get to that. At some point.
That's simple, man. The world is full of sheep.
Yeah.
Everybody's a follower. Everybody's a follower.
Yep.
You know, and it takes very few people.
Ali, I'm confirming
Sorry,
this
go
for
ahead.
you.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm confirming this for you. May 4th, 2020.
Yeah, I was right. Shit. So people just like tend to follow, and that is what affects the market. It's not one person. Okay, yeah. See, that makes a lot more sense.
No, but this is not just crypto. You know, if Warren Buffett or Bill Gates or any other guy makes a significant investment,
Yeah.
people watch.
Yeah. Oh
They
yeah.
watch.
True.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I'll talk to you guys something about called a sandwich trade later on, which is very sneaky. You literally watch what the big whales are gonna do, and you sneak in your trades to just copy them, but not before they do their trades. Sorry, not after they do their trades, but before they do their trades. But once we talk about it, I can tell you a lot of interesting techniques that
Nice.
a lot of the computer coders, bots are using, and it's working really well.
Wow.
So
I guess we could start off with like a very, very basic overview. So I think at this point, almost everyone watching has an idea what cryptocurrency is. It's digital currency that you can buy on what is known as a crypto exchange, and you can sell it on a crypto exchange as well. A lot of famous YouTubers have gotten into the space. There's a hustle going on right now. If you were to listen to one of my favorite YouTubers, his name's Some Ordinary Gamers. He looks and talks a lot like you, Professor Arne. Like, you watch this guy, I swear to God, like, so he's been talking about this hustle where someone will start a cryptocurrency.
You mean like brilliant and good looking? Yes,
Bro, absolutely. You got it. He's like the most.
Yep. Nailed it. Right there. Bullseye.
He talks about this hustle where people start what are known as shitcoins, and then they get a bunch of YouTubers to promote them. So like a ton of people put money into it, and then the price goes way up, and then all the YouTubers sell it. So then the price crashes, and like everyone who invested after the YouTubers just dies. And
that's old school.
Yeah.
You would have heard of junk stock, pump and dump.
Yeah.
This is from the stock market.
Yeah.
You find a really trash stock, and then you just start buying it up. And people are like, why the hell is this? Why is somebody buying it? Why is somebody buying it? Oh my God, there's a demand. The whole demand is artificial.
Yeah.
You know? This pump and dump is not cool because people who buy thinking that this is legit get burned. you got to remember it's a zero sum game.
Mhm.
You don't sell your crypto to like nobody. It's somebody buys it at whatever price you sell it.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
pump and dumps I stay away from. They're not hard to do. They're not hard.
Oh,
to do.
definitely not. The way you
it's
described it, it's so
reasonably-
easy.
Yeah, it's reasonably simplistic to pull off, but that's just not cool, man. That's like
Yeah.
that's like me doing like a pyramid scheme, man. Not cool. So for me that
makes
falls
sense.
under the stay away. This is not good for you. Trust me, karma will come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
You don't want to mess
it
with
does.
those things.
Mhm.
It does.
That's true.
But then, like, okay, let's talk a little bit about like the very basics of cryptocurrency. So, what is it based on? It's based on something called the blockchain, and I think if the audience understands what the blockchain is, they'll immediately have an idea of what crypto is, why it's such a big deal, and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, what
Yeah.
can you tell us about the blockchain?
So about 10-ish odd years ago, this guy Satoshi Nakamoto, we don't know who he is, if it's a group of people or a person, whatever. He wrote a white paper, which is a couple of pages long, and essentially the problem that was being addressed was filling the trust gap.
Yeah.
So we have an inherent trust gap.
Yeah.
I need to keep my money with somebody in the bank,
Mhm.
and when I'm transferring the money to you, you check with the bank. Hey, Ali, does Ali have 50 dirhams? Oh, yes, 50 dirhams. Okay, then they'll call me. Hey, you want to transfer the money? Yeah, transfer the 50. Then they'll send you the 50. And then Ahmed walks along and says, "Hey, bro, you owe me some money." I'm like, "Yeah, I got 50 dirhams." Do you? Are you sure? Let me check with the bank. Then he checks with the bank. Does he have 50 dirhams? They're like, no, wait. He still has 50 dirhams that were being paid out. Wait, let it clear. Let's check the balance. Yeah, he has 50 more dirhams to give you. So without having a trusted third party, I could show you one coin, and then I could tell all 4 or 5 of you that I'm going to give you the coin. I could show you a building and sell it to 5 of you. So somebody has to become the authority to manage. So I can't show you a house and sell it to 5 people because you're going to ask me for the title deed
Yeah.
of the house. And there's some government division or whatever it is, depending on where you are in the world, responsible for that ownership,
Right.
Yeah.
right? So if once I sell the property to you, both of us will go to said entity and we will kind of say, I'd say, yeah, I'm selling it. And you'll say, yeah, I'm buying it. And they're like, okay, thank you very much. You're the new owner. And if I go and try to sell it to somebody else, they're like, okay, good. Let's make a deal. Before I give you the money, let's go to the relevant department to make sure that you are still the owner and that you can transfer the ownership to me. So we always needed a third party to establish trust. So blockchain kind of solved that issue. And a couple of things that, and it's literally in the name, block and chain. I'll talk to you guys about it super brief. One of the things that blockchain enables is a record of transactions. It could be whatever transaction. It doesn't have to be monetary. It could just be communication or like, hey man, how's it going? Whatever. A record of transactions that are one way. They don't get deleted. You can only add. You cannot delete. You cannot edit. So that's the first important thing. They're one direction. They're continuously moving. You can't pause them. You can't rewind them. You can't redo them. Can't happen. Right? And all of those transactions, identical copies of all those transactions are held by multiple places or multiple nodes. So we move from a centralized to not only a decentralized, but in actuality, it's called a distributed system. It's not even decentralized. It's more. It's a distributed system. Everybody's got a copy. This is like us guys being on a WhatsApp group. Me and Abdul are talking, but everybody in that WhatsApp group can see our conversation because we're in the same group.
Right.
So what's
Right?
happening
So that
is
means
all the
identical copies of the
transactions-
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the
Identical
transactions
copies of the-
are
of
with
the-
everyone.
everywhere.
Everyone can see them. Everyone's got a copy.
Yep.
And so if I could like lead on from that, because I was watching another one of my favorite YouTubers today, and he made a video about crypto. So if one person decides to like hack the blockchain and like mess around with one record, 99.999% of the records conflict with that record. So you're like, nah, that's bullshit. That transaction doesn't pass. So it's basically a very trustworthy, unbreakable, distributed system for financial management. Awesome.
Yep.
Now, another thing that I think a lot of people immediately, including myself, thought about was this is like the perfect way for criminals to do their dirty work because it's so anonymous and no one knows. But that's not actually the case, is it? It's pseudonymous. there's this thing called the public key, right? And so how does that work? Like, how do you prevent criminals from abusing the blockchain?
There's a lot of misunderstanding in that. Now, first thing you got to understand, and everyone says, "Oh, it's not traceable. It's not traceable." The current monetary system you're using is not traceable.
That's
Cash.
not traceable.
Cash is not traceable.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, this coin that I'm holding in my hand right now, as soon as I give it to somebody else, nobody else on that planet except me and the other guy know that I gave this coin.
Yeah.
To the point that if you take this coin to somebody and say, "Hey, do you know who's had possession of this coin?"
They can't tell you.
Nobody can answer that question.
Yeah.
So the most untraceable is the currency we have. In the blockchain, you can see every single transaction from day zero. You can see every single transaction.
There's transparency.
I can tell you from 100% transparency. And then now again, keep in mind, there's so many different use cases. I'm gonna talk mostly in the context of Bitcoin. You can see every single transaction from the first day of Bitcoin. You can see.
Right.
Now, what you cannot see is the name of the owner. So every wallet, and let's change the word wallet for this discussion to account number. So every account number on the Bitcoin blockchain does not have a name with it. It just has a number. And if you're the owner of said account, you also have the private key or the password for said account. That's it. But when you get in and out of the crypto space, you need to go to an exchange and convert it.
Right.
And every single crypto exchange who's going to convert money for you has to meet whichever country's regulation they're in, will require AML, KYC, and they will know who the customer is.
Right.
So if you're tracking bad coin, that some criminal activity was happening with, and you're tracking all the transactions, at some point it's going to hit an exchange where somebody's going to want to cash it out. And at that point, we'll know who the owner is. So can you do criminal stuff with it? Man, you can do criminal stuff with everything. I could go to the gold market. I could go to the diamond market. I can buy a bunch of stuff, stick it in my pocket, jump on a plane, go somewhere else, and pay somebody off.
Right.
How are you controlling it? So you know, if you're gonna measure everything. Don't single one thing out and say, "Hey, man, look at this." So not fair.
Yep.
Yeah, it isn't. Okay. So cryptocurrencies work on a ledger known as the Bitcoin, which is managed by anyone who decides to become a copy holder. It's very secure. It's very transparent. You can't hack into it, and it's definitely probably the worst way for criminals to deal with money.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes it perfect. Now the question is, why aren't more people on it?
Well, there's always an issue with adoption, right? When credit cards first came about, people didn't understand. Like, why is my money on this plastic card?
Yeah.
And what you guys probably don't remember is when credit cards first came out, there were no credit card machines the way you see them now. Right now, credit cards are like a bazillion times better. The old days, and your parents might remember this, you put a credit card in a little slidey little mechanical mechanism. You put like 3 sheets of carbon copy paper on top of it. You slid it left and right, ka-chick, ka-chick. That's the reason why on credit cards the numbers are raised. Because they had to be raised for that imprint to happen. Then a slip goes with you, a slip stays with the store, and a copy of that slip is sent to the credit agency to process it. So a ton of credit card fraud used to happen. I could just start charging, and nobody is checking my balance. They have no way to check it. The assumption is I get in trouble afterwards. So the credit card machines now, they don't process anything until they see, does this guy have a balance? Oh, you still have credit left? Do you have a limit left on your card? Go ahead and make a transaction. As soon as you max it out, boom, closed.
Right.
So credit cards now are technologically apt. Back in the day, not so much. So it's an issue of adoption. And what we're seeing is every year we've seen something different happen. I think it was 2019 was the big year where people differentiated. They said, oh, wait a second, Bitcoin is different than blockchain. Blockchain can be used for a whole lot of other stuff. Bitcoin is just one of the many things. Then we saw a huge explosion in 2020. Again, I'm averaging, right? Depending on where you are in the world, a huge explosion in 2020 with blockchain adoption. Like, hey, man, let's get moving this. 2021, this is when we were like in pandemic, right? Global problems, whatever, consolidation. This is where a lot of people felt the crunch. Countries' economy started to feel a crunch, and people started asking the question, how much value does the money I have really hold? And am I secure in holding the money I have? Am I able to transfer it without 50 questions? It's my money. I'm the owner. This is where the discussion of crypto exploded again in terms of monetary value and worth.
Right.
And we saw a huge growth in the number of global exchanges also.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's ultimately going to boil down to adoption.
Right.
So the more people educate themselves, the more they understand how flawed our current financial system globally is. They understand how fragile the banking system is. And then when they realize that, wait a second, I have an option, I have an alternative that allows me to hold my wealth, and I retain 100% control over that wealth, and nobody else can tell me otherwise, that's financial freedom, my friend. I've got friends right now in Lebanon whose life savings are still stuck in the bank.
Yikes.
And if you want to withdraw
That's
them,
terrible.
they're giving you half to 1/4 of market rate.
Shit.
Yikes.
Okay. I trusted you, the bank, to keep my money safe. Now you, the bank, are holding my money hostage.
Yeah.
Now, economists would love to jump in and say, oh, it has to do with the national wealth. Okay, bro. I just gave my life savings to keep in a bank to keep it safe. I never said use it as collateral for whatever. I never authorized that.
Yeah.
So people are seeing this everywhere. Venezuela, we saw it. We saw hyperinflation happening many years ago in Turkey. We saw issues with other countries around the world. I can tell you in Pakistan also. If you look at the exchange, because keep in mind the dirham is pegged to the dollar. If you just look at the exchange rate dirham to Pakistani rupees today and just do it annually going back 5 years, it's
nearly doubled from what I know.
Yeah.
It's atrocious. For the simple reason that the country can't manage its currency's value.
Yeah.
Right.
So who loses out?
The
The country will be in a better situation. This is the better. Guess what? The poor guy who spent his whole life saving money, even though numerically his money might look the same, he can only buy half the stuff with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the average Joe does not understand that my money is worth less. The average Joe thinks, oh man, food got expensive. No, bro, food did not get expensive. Food is about the same. The problem is the rupee just doesn't buy as much food anymore.
Yeah.
So the more people, I'm going to call it financial awakening that's going to happen, people are switching. I know so many people who have emptied out their bank accounts and put money in crypto.
Smart.
Again, not the volatile, dangerous coins. And again, if you're not comfortable in Bitcoin, that's okay. You can actually put your money in stable coins.
Yeah.
That are perhaps pegged against a specific currency.
US
Tether.
Literally a coin called called US dollar coin, which is pegged to the dollar.
There's a bunch of stable coins. There's not just one. There's a whole bunch of stable coins. USD Tether is one of them. There's so many others. Point being, okay, you know what? Bitcoin is too volatile for me, but I don't want to keep the money in the bank. I'm going to keep it in a crypto wallet, and I'm going to keep it as US dollar Tether.
Yeah.
Okay, you're still going to have the issues with the value of money over time, but at least you solved half the problem. You got it out of the bank. You got it out of somebody else's hands, and you hold it. Beautiful part. If I can send a WhatsApp message to anyone in the planet around the, well, I shouldn't say in the planet anymore. Anyone, planet or outside the planet that has internet access in less than a second. Why can't I do the same with money? Because it is ultimately digital. 97, 98% of fiat doesn't exist as cash, which means it's already digital. And if it's already digital, why does it take you 3 days to do a bank transfer, man?
Yeah.
I've never had a banker be able to give me a clean answer. Always some drama. Always some drama.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got to go here first. Why? Why does it? Is there some guy on horseback that fills up a saddle? Oh man, these are all the dollars that I need to take, and then they get on a boat and he goes transatlantic. Like what? It's electronic. If a WhatsApp message can go, anything can go, and blockchain has proved it.
Right.
I can transfer anybody any value of Bitcoin, Ethereum, man, you name it, any of the cryptos,
Mm-hmm.
and essentially in a blink of an eye. Now, some people say, "Oh, yeah, it takes 10 minutes for the blockchain to verify." Okay, that's Bitcoin, but you have other cryptos that will verify faster.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah,
it's
definitely.
a system.
Mhm.
It's a
Yeah.
system design issue, not a system limitation issue.
So when you're like talking about especially investing in crypto, or you're going on about like talking about how you have stable coins, you have crypto, what's exactly going to be, what's the differentiating factor between each? Like there's going to what
All right, now, when we talk about cryptocurrencies, you have to understand they're a software.
Right.
Ultimately, they're software, and software can be designed with the parameters you like.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike fiat dollars, dirhams, yen, their currency, they do exactly the same. They have the exact same function. No currency has an extra function.
Right.
I can give it in exchange for something. I
Right.
can't do anything with it other than just that. Now the value changes because of various variables, economic factors, countries' wealth, GDP, whatever. The economists will go on and on.
Right.
But with crypto, it's totally different. I can code it to do different things. Ethereum and blockchain are totally different. Sorry, Ethereum and Bitcoin are totally different.
Right.
Bitcoin is literally designed as a hold of value, a hold of wealth.
Right.
It's like gold. It's like,
Okay.
for all intrinsic purposes, it's digital gold. There's a specific amount that's ever going to exist. There's never going to be more. And whoever's got it and whoever wants it, pure supply demand determines the value.
Okay.
Ethereum, on the other hand, yes, it can be used as a currency, but more than a currency, it's a development platform. I can use Ethereum to develop solutions.
Right.
I can generate smart contracts using it.
Right.
I can tokenize things with it. Right now, a popular term is the NFTs, non-fungible tokens.
Yeah.
Yep.
So NFTs have really
people are
caught fire in
creating
the last 6
NFTs in
months.
Ethereum almost exclusively. I noticed.
Yes. That's what they build it off of, right? There's lots of, like I said, there's lots of different ways to build it. So so it's not just that it's a currency, but every single crypto can do different things based on how it's designed. So you can't compare all of them.
Right.
So that's the crypto thing. Stable coins were, the purists will call it a half measure,
Right.
but I call it a stepping stone. Now,
Okay.
I'm not comfortable converting my wealth to Bitcoin, my life savings, and one day it's at $60,000, then it's at $30,000, then it's at $45,000.
Right.
Oh my God! Every morning I'm gonna wake up with a new heart attack. Like,
Bro,
damn.
I saw this meme. A guy asked his dad for 15,000 Bitcoin for his birthday, and he was like, "What do you need $14,376 for? Isn't $13,279 too much? What are you gonna do with $17,836?"
Even within the conversation, it changes. I have in my lounge, I have a small little digital display that updates with the crypto prices. I've got Bitcoin and Ethereum there.
Yeah.
And I've been giving my kids and family idea in Bitcoin for the last couple of years.
Oh damn.
Wow.
So he takes his little paper wallet. He opens his phone, scans it in. Thank you, Baba. I've never given them maybe more than $20, right, worth at any given time.
Yeah.
Right.
In crypto, which is
Right.
about like 100-ish dirhams, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Which is like, okay, it's not a lot. It's okay. It's good money for a kid. Good money for you. Enjoy.
It's alright for a kid. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I gave them that $20 when crypto was $3,500. I gave them that $20 worth when
my
when
God.
crypto was $10,000. I gave them that when crypto was $20,000.
Oh
They're
my God.
rolling in money right now.
Oh my God.
So the 10. Let's go with this easy math. So when I gave him the $20 worth of idea when crypto was 10,000, now crypto is 5x, approximately floating around 50,000 ish. So that 20 is my boy's banking, man. So he came to me. He's 13, by the way. So he came to me last month. He goes, Baba, 13. I remember this. I'm thinking of diversifying my portfolio. I'm like, say what? What? I only have Bitcoin. I think I should get some Ethereum. I'm like, okay, why don't first you need to liquidate. This exercise. Go sell your Bitcoin. You're holding Bitcoin. Go sell your Bitcoin. Find someone who wants to buy Bitcoin. Get the market price. Take the cash from them and transfer that amount of Bitcoin to their wallet. Don't ask me to do it on the exchange. You go do it. He found. I think his uncle or somebody wanted some Bitcoin. He's like, oh, okay, Abdullah, I'll buy it from you. So Abdullah got cashed out, and then he transferred the Bitcoin, and then he comes to me and he's like, Baba, here you go. And he cashed out. I still remember this. He cashed out $800 worth of his Bitcoin. Right. He comes to me and goes, Baba, here's $800. Can you buy me some Ethereum?
Nice.
And I said, this is a few weeks ago. I said, no, not yet. It's above 3,000. I think it might come back. No, Baba, it's gonna jump. I'm like, no. Just wait. I don't know why. I had a bug in my head. I'm like, it's gonna come to 1,900. So I said, look, here's my exchange wallet. Here's my exchange app through my phone. I said, look, I'm putting an order, $800 worth of Bitcoin. Buy it as soon as it hits 1,900.
You mean Ethereum?
So, yeah, for Ethereum.
Okay.
So it hit 1,900 over the next, I don't know which days. The order got executed. So he bought $800 worth of Ethereum at 1,900 rate.
What's Ethereum?
Right. And literally within end of the week, it's at $2,600. And he's like,
Gotcha.
oof! It is 2,689 right now.
Yeah, he's like, my portfolio.
Wait, how much?
Bro,
it doubled.
2,689 doubled. Well, not doubled. It went up by like $700.
It went up by, I don't know, 50-60%. It jumped.
Yeah.
Huh?
So, he in the morning, he's having breakfast. He pops open his phone. He goes, oh, the investment is doing well, I see. This kid.
Oh, man.
So yeah. So look, there was a point. Like, I'll give you my example. I went through kindergarten, primary school, middle school without the internet.
All right.
Internet kind of got popular where I grew up in Saudi. I remember, like, I don't know, 5th, 6th grade, somewhere there, 7th grade, 5th, 6th, 7th grade maybe. That's when we started getting like, oh, what's email? Oh, this is interesting. Oh, what's this? Oh, and this is old days of dial-up modems, right?
Right.
You would click on a page, you make a cup of tea, come back, and hopefully it's loaded. Talking about those days. So I grew up in a world without the internet. You guys have grown up in a world where the internet always existed. Yeah. My kids have grown up in a world where the smartphone and mobile internet has always existed.
Yep.
So there's a generation of people who, are now probably, diapers to kindergarten, who are growing up in a world where crypto exists, which means it's not going to be a new thing. It's going to be another thing.
I literally was just thinking right now when you're talking about your son getting crypto as Edia, and I was just like, this is how you know you're old. This is how you know you're old. This is the peak. They're getting crypto.
Best part,
oh man, it's amazing. Crypto dad.
The first year I gave it, Bitcoin was $3,500-ish range dollars, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first year I gave it, everybody complained. What do we do with this paper? I don't understand this paper. Bubba, what is this? I can't buy toys with this. I'm like, trust me. Trust me. And now everyone's like, damn. Even my sister-in-law, because I'm the oldest, right? So even my sister-in-law, I gave her Edia and Bitcoin. So she came up to me. She goes, how much money does everybody have? I never check my money. I'm like, please tell me you didn't throw away any of the paper slips I gave you. She goes, no, I kept all the paper. She brought a little sandwich Ziploc bag from her room. She goes, I have all of them. Can you enter them in my wallet in the phone? I'm like, no problem. And this was just like a month or so ago. I helped her set up her wallet on her phone. And she goes, $300? You gave me $300? I'm like, man, it was $20 when I gave it to you. But if you were welcome to give it back. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's
no, amazing. I used to give 0.01 Bitcoin in my training classes for free, like a bunch of people. I actually got callbacks from these my old students. Sir, you remember you gave me 0.01 Bitcoin? Would you like it back? Because it's like $600-700 now. I'm like, no, man. I'm like, hopefully you still have it. Enjoy it.
Would you like it back?
It's so nice. But it's adoption. It's adoption. And there's no exit. Everyone's been, it crashed. It's never going to work. And, Goldman Sachs, we don't want to do anything with this. And Lehman Brothers, either they're telling you or they're not telling you. But I'm telling you, there's everybody. There's more than 3,000-4,000 corporations that have already invested. well before Elon Musk jumped on board. And when he jumped on board, he opened floodgates.
Oh yeah.
And everybody started jumping on board.
Oh yeah.
And if you think about it, you always have to ask anything that happens, ask why. You'll find interesting answers. Doesn't mean the answers are true. Most of it is speculation. But if I'm going to say, why is Elon Musk and 3,000 other corporations investing in something so volatile? Well, ultimately, irrespective of its volatility, if you look at the 10-year graph, the 10-year graph is going up.
Mm-hmm.
10-year graph of Bitcoin is going up. Which graph is going down? The value of fiat is consistently going down. If I've got $100 million every single day, that $100 million is worth less and less and less. So I need to put it into something. I need to change the asset class. That's why all the big boys, the rich guys, get richer for one very simple reason. They don't hold on to money. They don't hold on to cash. They put it in real estate. They invest it in a business. They put it in something that's going to go in the opposite direction to the value of currency. And that's why the middle class keep getting poorer, and the poorer have no way out of that hole. Because they spend their lifetime saving. Oh, I am so smart. I got a savings account and I'm going to get like 3%. Bro, it's turning to crap faster than that. But this poor guy doesn't have enough money to buy real estate. Doesn't have money to get into other asset classes.
Right.
So it's interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think we can agree that leaving your money in the bank, especially if you have a large sum of money, is a very bad idea. And I think that's something that anyone will support, regardless of whether they're into crypto or not. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor exactly, but what I know is people invest in stocks. Sometimes they invest in property. Sometimes they invest in what's called mutual funds. I know my grandparents invested in mutual funds, and those are pretty good because they basically take your money and they diversify it for you. And apparently that's pretty rewarding. But I think most people like to get what's known as equity, which is part of a company, which is basically, again, stocks. So as someone who's like just starting out, who's maybe got their first job or their first internship, even if they're very adventurous, and they've started to make a little bit of coin, what would you suggest that they do with that money, Professor?
What's interesting for you guys, and by you, when in the context of people listening, I'm referring to college students, right? You're in your early 20s. What's interesting for you guys is you are on the precipice of something amazing. A lot of very interesting things are going to start to happen. There are, but they're going to visualize themselves in the upcoming few years, not even 10, 20 years, a few years. I was giving a talk once, and I told the audience, I'm like, guys, do you realize that everyone sitting here might be the last generation to ever drive a car? And they just burst out laughing. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, so all of you people who have kids will most probably grow up, or by the time they get to an age, 18, when they're supposed to be able to drive a car, they won't need to. The car will drive itself. This is the same thing somebody said, that you guys are the last generation that will take horses to work. And somebody laughed because the automobile came. Right?
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting is what we're already seeing. And of course, car manufacturers don't want to share these numbers. But what we're seeing is that your generation is already choosing not to buy a car. My generation, you graduate, you get a job, you get a car. It's like, you get a place to live. That's how it's done. We're finding your generation saying, well, I don't need a car. I'll just Uber around.
Yeah.
Car is not a car, by the way, is the shittiest of all investments.
Oh, yeah, especially
what sort
a brand
of investment,
new car.
What sort of investment drops 20% the second you take it out of the showroom?
Brand new one is like a brand new car. Just like buying it with Bitcoin is just gonna be
no, it makes no sense. Buying a car,
in the sewer.
The more you break it down and you realize buying a car makes no logical sense. The second you drive out of the showroom, it drops 20%. What is that? That's like the worst depreciation ever. You lost 20% in a minute. And it consumes gas, so it costs to operate. It doesn't generate any revenue for you. It's a cost center. It's not an asset. Even the accountants like to count it as an asset and depreciate it over whatever number of years. It's not. It's sunk. It's gone. You're lucky if you get some money for it later.
Yeah.
So your generation is realizing this. Also, at the same time, your generation is the generation that has the largest student debt globally ever.
Right.
So you're seeing problems. You're like, man, this doesn't make sense. Your generation is also the first generation that's really, really asking the hard question of, why do I even need to go to university?
Yeah.
And companies are saying, why do I need a college graduate? If the person can do the job that I need done, why does this person
especially in the tech and programming and computer science sector?
Oh yeah.
The shittiest thing you could do. I would legit pick up like kids out of 10th grade. Have you seen the people who get into like self-taught programming? They're crazy good now. Oh my god,
bro! Like, it's like a mad world in that sense too.
And you can get entire degrees on Coursera for a tenth of the price. Like what in 10 years, I think people attending university would be big idiots if they're going just for education. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The university education model and even the school education model really hasn't changed for hundreds of years.
No,
which is scary.
Yeah.
Which is scary. We even design our classrooms to look exactly the same. We should be in a collaborative teaching style where everybody teaches each other, which means a classroom should not have directionality. It should not have the professor on one side and all the students facing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It should not have a direction. And a lot of forward-thinking schools and universities have redesigned their classrooms with projectors on all four walls and no specific direction. And the tables are group tables. So you don't sit on your individual seat. There's a table here for four, table here for four. Anyhow, point being, we're getting off topic. Point being, what you guys need to do now is to diversify. This is Warren Buffett. He doesn't like crypto, but he's my favorite guy when it comes to investments. And his advice is to diversify. And don't put all your eggs in one basket. Put some in the stocks. Put some in real estate. Put some in crypto. Put some in different cryptos. Right? Understand the risk of each of them and adjust accordingly. And diversify. And the most important thing is never too early to start. There's a fantastic startup in the UAE. They've been operating now for 2 years, 3 years, I think, called Smart Crowd. They allow you to buy partial ownership in property. So if you've got 5,000 saved up, 10,000 saved up, go ahead and buy it.
Yeah, tell my dad about this. He's like his genius.
Yes. And they weren't the first ones to do it in the world, but they were the first ones to do it in the UAE, which is great. Ali, you know Latifa. She graduated last year. She spent the last year building out the company. She's inshallah, she's just waiting for final regulatory approvals. She should be launching in a handful of weeks. And she's literally doing the same thing, and she's targeting Emirati women. It's an entire market segment that nobody looks at.
Oh yeah.
And she's been doing her market research. By market research, I mean talking to women, or customer research, for 1 year now. So she has made sure that there's a market there. And you're going to see more and more of these sort of things pop up.
Right. Yeah. Sort of segueing into you talk about stocks and you talk about crypto. Like, I think there obviously our listeners are going to have a lot of questions regarding what's the difference between investing in stocks and what's the difference between investing in crypto, because obviously there is a massive resurgence.
Totally different. When you invest in stock, you're essentially buying part of a company, right? In its simplest form. Form. So you can buy stock in Tesla. You can buy stock in Microsoft. You can buy stock in whatever. So you're buying partial owner. You can buy stock in Emar, for example. Any listed company that's selling stock, you can buy it. And depending on the performance of the company, the prices will change. Depending on the performance of the company, they might share their profits. They call it dividends. They might pay out some dividends. Crypto is you're literally investing in a currency. You're buying currency. If I was like, you know what, I'm going to buy some euros because I think the exchange rate is going to be good in a year. That's the same thing. I'm going to buy some Bitcoin because I think demand for Bitcoin is going to increase. Now, the beautiful part with Bitcoin is we know the supply is fixed. So there's only there's only literally one variable that changes its price, demand. More people want it, price goes up. And we've seen this. 10 years. There has never been less people wanting it. There's always been more and more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the question is, why has it gone down so much all of a sudden? It's going down 5% every day. I keep getting notifications from Coinbase.
Coinbase
won't leave me alone.
It's cyclic. this is when you talk to the traders and they talk about volatility.
Yeah.
And ultimately, remember, the traders don't make money if the price doesn't change. The traders make money when the price changes. They love the change.
Yeah.
So buying and selling is happening constantly, and and the price is always reaching its new adjusted equilibrium. But if you step back and you look at the broader graph, you'll see how it's more or less going up. And yes, it's just like the stock market. Almost very similar rules apply. Actually, you'll find that there's always a price correction happening. We're finding similar things happening in the cryptocurrency space also. So it's a little bit more volatile. The stock market might be water that's simmering, and crypto might be water that's bubbling. But they kind of work the same way. So again, supply demand. I want to buy Tesla. You want to buy Tesla. You want to buy Tesla shares. Guess what? Tesla shares went up. Hey man, I think Tesla shares have gone up. Let's sell some. You and me and 5 other people sell. Oh, it went down.
They're gonna go down.
Same thing with crypto.
Yeah.
Same thing with
So
crypto.
basically, a bunch of people decided to sell, and that's why the prices are steadily going down. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that kind of makes sense. But then, in a sense, they're almost guaranteed to go back up when more people get into it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, look, the only thing I see, the only thing I see is unless there's something catastrophic that happens to that system, there is no other reason for it not to keep continuously going up in the long term. That's again an opinion. And I remember the very first summer I got into crypto. I have to really understand something before I'm going to talk to somebody else about it. I really got to learn like everything I can learn about it. And then I kind of gave myself a challenge. I said, you know what? If somebody comes to me and says, Ali, you know what? We don't like this whole Bitcoin. This Bitcoin is freaking people out. We'll give you $10 million to shut it down. So that was kind of like a challenge I put, to myself. Shut it down. That's the only thing I researched. How would I shut down Bitcoin? The short answer after like more than 2-3 weeks worth of 8 hours a day research and study to understand the system better, to understand the problems. The guys will pop up and say, oh yeah, 51% attack. That's a whole different issue. I'll talk about that in a second. But the only way to really shut down Bitcoin is to shut down the entire internet.
Yeah.
And never turn it back on. Because as soon as you turn it back on, it's back.
Oh yeah.
And even then, I could argue with you that it can survive even without the internet. I can even have that discussion with you. By the way, there's already satellites in space that are broadcasting multiple Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I think 2 other cryptocurrency chains around the world. So we have nodes, we have blockchain nodes in space already.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So in short, crypto's not going anywhere. That's exciting.
It's not going anywhere, man. No matter what anybody tells you, it's not going anywhere. You cannot ban it. You cannot block it. You can't do nothing. I'm telling you. And honestly, if I had found a solution, there's a whole bunch of governments around the world that I would say, hey man, I figured out how to shut it down. Give me $10 million.
Yeah.
Man, I would have cashed out. You can't.
Yeah.
Now, 51 attack, what a lot of people will talk about, 51% attack essentially means that all the miners, you have to own more than 51% of all the mining power in order to control the block's verification. And if I can control more than 51%, I can control the block and I can edit and I can change it, I can whatever.
Ooh,
that's still a
true,
lot.
Actually,
That's still
crazy.
a lot.
No,
Cost,
it just clocked because he could do whatever he wants, and the entire system would approve it.
But
yeah.
Now what's interesting is the amount of money it's gonna take to create the computing power to exceed 51% of everybody.
It's not happening.
Is not happening. It's financially not happening.
Not in Bitcoin.
And if I had that much money,
you want to
and if I had that much money,
it's not happening in Bitcoin.
Even then, look, this is another thing you need to understand, right? First of all, if I had that much money, I wouldn't do it that way. Hacking 001, always go after the weakest link. The weakest link is the user. I'll do phishing emails. I'll send you like, hey man, here's a bonus. Send me 1 Bitcoin. I'll send you 10 Bitcoin back. The best investment on the planet. And then there's enough dumbasses to send me coins. So I make way more money scamming people than I would ever trying to do a 51 attack. That investment's not worth it. First thing. Second thing, as soon as you what am I going to do? If I do a 51 attack, I control the Bitcoin blockchain. I can say send 1 million coins to Ali.
Yeah.
But as everyone's going to know that I hacked it. And as soon as everyone knows that I hacked it, now it's worth nothing. So that 1 million Bitcoins is going to be worth nothing. So it doesn't even make sense to hack to control the chain. It doesn't make sense because as soon as you start controlling the chain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else is like, okay, this guy's manipulating the chain. This coin is worthless. Walk away.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's no point. What's the end? I don't walk away with anything money. You see? So there's no financially not viable, logically not doesn't make sense, and ultimately there's easier ways to make money. So it's in short, it's never happening, man. It's never gonna happen.
So let's say, for example, if I'm going to enter, like, I'm going to start educating myself on, crypto, investing, all of it. Should I start by first learning how stocks work, or should I just jump in and learn first crypto?
No, you need to first buy some Bitcoin. The easiest way to start is the step one. Get on Google. You'll find like a bazillion YouTube videos. I remember early days, a website called 99 Bitcoins, I think. They had some great tutorials early days when there wasn't a lot going on. Now there's tons and tons and tons and tons. So start by buying some Bitcoin. Step one. Step two, start by sending Bitcoin to somebody else. Because as soon as you've done that, you have used the blockchain.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got some, you received some coin, you sent some coin. That's literally the only two things you can do on the Bitcoin blockchain. Send and receive. Well, aside from mining, but let's leave that for a different discussion. Now you know how it works. Now you know exactly what every single user on the user end of things, what every single user is going to do. They're going to either buy it or, send it or receive it. What you do in the middle is you can also trade it, just like a currency. I can send money, I can receive money, but I can also trade money. I can get onto currency exchange and I can trade them. So in order to do that, you need to set up a account on an exchange. Don't go happy-go-lucky and just randomly get some exchanges and get yourself in trouble. My recommendation would be to start with exchanges like Bitstamp. My recommendation would be to get on exchanges like Bittrex,
All
Kraken,
of these basically.
Poloniex.
I see it.
These are all good ones. I
What about
personally
Binance?
don't like. Oh, Binance is great, but not to start with. It'll scare you. It has too. It's too big. It's got too much going on, man.
So for starters, is what Bitstamp is good.
Yeah. Bitstamp, Kraken, Bittrex. These are Poloniex. These are all nice exchanges. Bitstamp as well as Kraken will allow you to transfer fiat into them, and then you can once you're in crypto, you can move to a whole bunch of different exchanges. There's an exchange out of Bahrain. They're actually not an exchange. They're called Rain, RAIN. Similar to BitOasis, which used to be UAE based, and now I think they're based in British Virgin Islands or Europe. I'm not sure where they went. These guys aren't really exchanges. They don't have people trading on the exchanges. What these guys do is they are connected to bigger exchanges, and they do transactions through them, and then they collect their margin.
Right.
And you'll see that in the spread. The buy and sell price will be very wide.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Versus on a crypto exchange, it's one trade value. So my advice: stay away from Rain. Stay away from BitOasis. I have accounts on every exchange I mentioned. I've used. So it's not like I'm just talking about stuff I haven't used. Start there, and then grab a bunch of YouTube videos, basics to crypto trading, intro to crypto trading. And you're going to be learning all the same stuff. What do the candles look like? What's the width of the candle? What do the top and bottom represent? How can I adjust? There's a fantastic website I used to use when I got into day trading for a while called Trading Views. I love their charts, graphs, customizations. I mean, it's so nice. You can do such cool stuff with it. So look into that.
Right.
Those are all great sources. We just DMCC in Dubai something commodities.
Yeah.
Those guys just launched a whole little, I don't know what you call it, crypto division apparently. So they're gonna have a bunch of companies popping out of there. Great thing to check to see what sort of companies pop up. So there's a lot to be done. But create accounts on these exchanges, start watching YouTube videos, and then put in a little bit of money, put in whatever, $50, $100 worth of crypto, and then just play with it. Most probably you're going to lose it. Most probably. But the intention is not to obviously lose it, but think of it as $100 paid in learning fees. Because no matter what somebody shows you, you got to try it and do it yourself to really understand it. 100%. So put in like $100-ish dollars, play around with it, and don't freak out. Expect to lose it. And if you don't, great. If you do, that's the cost of learning, which is fine, which is perfectly fine. Because then the idea is you pump in more money afterwards, and then you're smarter with your investments, and you understand how to manage risk, you understand how to diversify risk.
Gotcha.
And then have some fun.
Okay, so now we've, let's say you've you've used all of this, you've bought crypto, it's starting to grow, you're starting to lose, you're starting to gain. What would you say is, for example, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be like, okay, you've done all this. What's the time you sell? What is it like? Well, how do you make that decision to sell?
Here's when it's going to get interesting. What I generally tell my friends is, if you're going to do an investment and the investment has made you some money, pull out the initial investment.
Right.
Sorry, guys. I think there's a problem with my mic. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Something happened. I think you said something about pull out the initial investment. I don't know.
No, 1 sec. Let me just check. We can cut this part out. Okay, did the audio fix again or no?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I don't think it's coming through your mic anymore.
Yeah.
No, I just switched back to USB audio.
Yeah, it's fine now.
That's fine. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And over here is fine. Okay. What was I talking about? Yes. So what I advise a lot of my friends is go in with a small investment, try it, trade it, and if you make some money, pull out your original investment. And now you're basically playing with free money. I mean, of course you've earned it. You've earned it, but now you're never gonna have the, oh my God, I put in $500, I lost my fund. Take out your $500.
Yeah.
And now you'll have less of a, oh my God, I lost my fund. Well, no, you got your.
You didn't lose anything. Yeah, that's smart. That's smart.
That's smart.
This is kind of my like soft advice on how not to get too freaked out when the money starts to go down. Because then you tell yourself, no, the $500 I put, I already got back. I'm just paying extra now. So that's one thing. That I think is very smart to do when you start getting into the whole investment space. Now, in terms of crypto and spending crypto, I have never yet met anyone who spent Bitcoin and didn't regret it.
Right.
No, it's not in that stage yet.
Yeah.
No, you're not hearing me. Every single person I met who bought Bitcoin and then spent Bitcoin regretted doing so.
What do you mean by spend Bitcoin? Like use it to buy something else or get their fiat back?
I have a friend who bought a car with it.
Oh.
I know somebody.
Shit.
I have another friend who bought three Teslas with it.
No.
I have another friend who bought an apartment with it. Every single one of them regretted spending the Bitcoin because it went up.
They have
we should have just paid. They're like, we should have just paid cash and kept the Bitcoin. Honest to God, I have yet to meet somebody who post 1 year or 6 months of spending their Bitcoin did not think like, man, I should have just paid cash.
No, right now it's not the time to buy commodities with it. Just hold on to it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So when is it a good time to spend Bitcoin?
No.
Never. at least
will we
yet.
eventually get to a stage? Obviously, we're like, we're over the hour mark. But I think to close off, will we ever get to a stage where fiat doesn't exist and we're literally just trading in crypto? Like, that's it. There's, let's say, for example, there's a stable coin. Maybe it's US Tether that everyone's got. And then, buying volatile coins becomes like trading stocks and people are just living off the blockchain. Is that ever going to happen? Or does it need to happen, basically?
Now, you either got to keep up or you're going to get left behind.
Yeah.
So the question I really have now is, the governments of the world and the financial institutions of the world, are you going to become Blockbuster Video? Because we are well past Netflix now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
do see a lot of them trying stuff. I do see a lot of them thinking in that direction. And honestly, like I said, you guys are at the precipice of an amazing, amazing era. I'm so excited every day to watch what unfolds, to see what's going on. The NFTs were like, I'm like, what the hell is this now? Are you for real? Are you for real? I was like, man,
Yeah.
I was waiting for this to happen. And
Right.
NFTs is genius. I can own something and I can sell something without anybody else ever being involved in it. It's amazing.
Right. Yeah.
You know, digital assets are amazing to sell. And not only that, you can assign an NFT to a physical object also. But let's just keep it simple for now. But it's interesting. You know, I can have digital rights to something and I can literally sell it as an NFT, and then somebody else can buy it from me, and somebody else can buy it from me. And again, I don't need anybody else involved now, do I? I don't need StockX to check if the shoe is legit, you know?
Yeah.
So it's interesting how it's creating all of these new, not markets or market spaces, but entire market paradigms that didn't exist before. So it's. I mean, I'm very excited to see what's happening. It's very cool. It's an amazing time to be alive. I'm telling you.
100%. Well, the only reason I hate cryptocurrency with a passion sometimes is because of mining, which I know is a completely different topic, but because of mining, all the freaking GPU prices have gone up. And even though GPUs are useless for mining Bitcoin now, I can't build a PC anymore.
Okay. So side note, my son has a gaming system. He scammed. He had some savings, and then he scammed his grandparents out of. I need more money. I don't have enough money. And then he came to Baba. Can you give some money? So he went around, asked everybody for money until he raised his 6,000, 7,000 dirham, whatever it was.
MashaAllah.
And he put together his gaming system. So I literally, this was last week. I was sitting there like, Abdullah, I don't remember what GPU you have, but I think you bought a really nice one. And then he spurred out some names and numbers that I totally forgot. I've been out of the custom PC building.
If it cost him $6K, he's been mugged off thanks to crypto. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I said, listen, why don't we put a miner on your computer? Let's see how much money it makes, and that will add to your monthly allowance. So he installed mining software that auto switches between the different, whatever's the highest crypto that pays out at the time for mining, and then it will ultimately convert it back to Bitcoin and send him the Bitcoin.
Wow.
So he's making about $70 a month right now.
Nice. With a standalone home PC, that's not bad. So very briefly, for those who don't understand what mining is, mining is just you sign up and you decide to be one of the transaction verifiers and one of the holders of the blockchain, and you get quote unquote rewarded for solving puzzles that come up as a part of this process. That's all mining is.
Yeah.
So it's a way of like making Bitcoin, kinda.
Right.
Yeah, that's why it is.
Yep, close enough. But yeah, he's making like $70, $80. Well, he hasn't cashed out anything. He started a
Good.
but it shows the monthly rate. So now he wakes up in the morning. He checks his crypto portfolio. He checks his one card mining rig. Baba, I was just checking my mining rig. It's $82 right now. I'm like, okay, bro.
Wow. That's like wonderful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, what a wonderful discussion this has been. And with that, I hope that the people who tuned into the video version of this podcast really enjoyed the pre-show, because that was like my favorite part. But in all seriousness, I hope that all of you that have listened to this so far are much more educated in Bitcoin and in crypto specifically. I said that the other way around. Anyway, if you do want more, I guess, advice on Bitcoin or specifically investing in crypto, I know that Professor Ali has a master class coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yep. It was supposed to be scheduled between the spring and summer term.
Yeah.
Until I realized that that's only 1 week.
10 days, bro.
and I've got reports and grades to submit, and then I got to prep new syllabuses. I was like, oops. So we're probably going to do it right after summer term.
Yeah.
And it's going to be focused very much on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Right.
So not on blockchain. We're going to talk very much on Bitcoin, how to buy, how to sell, how to trade, what you can do with it, what you can't do with it, what are the system limitations, what's happening globally with it, what's issues with power consumption, for example. If you want to get into mining, is there still time to get into mining? If you do, what's a smart way to do it? So everything Bitcoin.
Awesome.
It'll be everything Bitcoin.
And
Awesome.
when's this gonna be? Do you think now that?
So right after summer classes, I think
Probably.
summer classes are finishing mid-July.
Yeah.
So let's say probably end of July is my guess.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely announce it when it does come about. That's if you want, more information on Bitcoin. But yeah, take some advice from what we've spoken about. Sort of educate yourself a little bit on the basics through YouTube, and get yourself a nice crypto exchange on your phone. Set up your wallet, something like Bitstamp or Kraken Pro, and just like buy a couple dollars to let's say buy $100 of Bitcoin and see what you
Right.
can do with it, because it is in every manner of speaking, now that I really think about it, it is completely the future of currency, and eventually fiat is gonna go to zero in value.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
we're very lucky, as Professor
Probably.
Ali said, to be the generation where so many new things are being done with the blockchain, especially. It's just the possibilities are endless. It's a very delicious time. And with that, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Professor Ali, for giving us so much of your time and thoroughly entertaining us while educating us. I can see why you're a lot of my friends' favorite professor ever. And with that, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been your host, Ali Adnan Rada, with my wonderful co-host,
Ali Hamid Zaidi signing
you
off.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.